Let me guess. You work 40+ hours a week, you're not buying designer bags or eating caviar every night, but somehow you're still living paycheck to paycheck. And everyone keeps telling you it's your fault. Well, here's the uncomfortable truth they don't want you to know. The system is literally designed to keep you broke. And the scariest part? Even smart people fall for it. Look, I'm not here to tell you to stop buying coffee. That's BS advice that misses the point completely. What I'm about to show you is how the entire financial ecosystem, from your bank to your employer to that harmless subscription, works together to drain your money in ways you don't even notice. And by the end of this video, you'll see the matrix for what it really is. A perfectly designed wealth extraction machine that keeps you running on a hamster wheel while they profit from your exhaustion. But first, let me destroy the biggest lie you've been sold about money.
Here's the first trap. You think you're making decent money. Let me ask you something. What's a good salary in America today? 50K? 75K? 100K? Here's what they don't tell you. Your grandfather making $25,000 in 1980 had more purchasing power than you do making $75,000 today. That's not an opinion, that's math. In 1980, the average house cost 3 times the median income. Today, it's 8 times the median income. Your rent used to be 15% of your paycheck, now it's 40%. But here's the sick part. They keep telling you the economy is doing great while you can barely afford the same life your parents had with a high school diploma. You know what happened? They inflated the currency, deflated your wages, and convinced you that struggling is normal. Your $60,000 salary sounds impressive until you realize it buys what $30,000 bought 20 years ago. But nobody talks about that because if you knew, you'd be pissed. Instead, they gaslight you. Maybe you need a side hustle. Maybe you're not working hard enough. Maybe you should learn to code. Meanwhile, corporate profits hit record highs, CEO pay went up 1,400%, and they're telling you to budget better. You're not broke because you're bad with money. You're broke because they rigged the game, moved the goalposts, and then blamed you for losing. But that's just level 1 of this scam. Because even if you somehow manage to increase your income, they've got 4 invisible traps waiting to drain every extra dollar you make. Trap number 1. Subscription creep. You started with Netflix for $8.99. It's just $10, you said. Then Spotify, then Amazon Prime, then the gym you don't use, then that app you forgot you downloaded. Before you know it, you're paying $200 plus a month for subscriptions. That's $2,400 a year. For most people, that's an entire month's rent. But here's the genius part. They designed it to be invisible. Small amounts, auto renewal, buried in your credit card statement. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Trap number 2, lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. Finally, you're making progress, right? Wrong. The moment you start making more money, your expenses magically grow to match it. Bigger apartment, better car, fancier restaurants. You call it treating yourself, they call it capturing your raise. You're making 30% more than last year, but somehow saving the same amount? 0. Trap number 3, debt normalization. They convinced you that debt is normal. Student loans? Normal. Car payments? Normal. Credit card debt? Normal. Mortgage for 30 years? Totally normal. You're paying interest on everything. Your car, your house, your education, your vacation, your furniture. You're not a consumer, you're a subscription service for banks. The average American pays $1,230 per month just in interest payments. That's $14,760 a year going straight into someone else's pocket for the privilege of using your own money. But here's trap number 4, and this one's brutal. The emergency fund myth. They tell you to save 3 to 6 months of expenses for emergencies. Sounds smart, right? Here's what they don't tell you. That money sits in a savings account earning 0.5% while inflation runs at 3 to 8%. You're literally losing money every day by being responsible. Meanwhile, that same money could be working for you, growing, compounding.
But no, they want you to keep it in their vault, earning them money while you get pennies. And here's the real kicker. Most emergencies aren't emergencies. They're predictable expenses you didn't plan for. Your car will need repairs. Your roof will need fixing. Your phone will break. But they call it an emergency to make you feel unprepared and guilty instead of teaching you to plan for the inevitable. These 4 traps work together like a machine. They extract wealth from your paycheck before you even realize it's gone. And the beautiful part? You think it's your fault. But who's behind this machine? Who benefits when you're always broke? Let me show you exactly how they profit from your struggle.
Follow the money, and everything makes sense. Your bank makes more money when you're broke than when you're rich. Think about it. When you're struggling, you pay overdraft fees. $35 every time you accidentally go negative. That's a 3,500% interest rate on a $10 mistake. The average American pays $250 a year in overdraft fees alone. When you're broke, you carry credit card debt. They make 18 to 29% interest on your desperation. The average American pays $1,230 a year just in credit card interest. When you're broke, you can't pay bills on time. Late fees, penalty rates, reconnection charges, they literally profit from your financial stress. Banks make $12 billion a year from overdraft fees. Credit card companies make $130 billion a year from interest and fees. That's not a business model, that's a wealth extraction system. But it gets worse. Your employer benefits from keeping you broke too. How? Desperate employees don't quit. Desperate employees don't negotiate. Desperate employees work overtime without complaint because they need every dollar. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have zero leverage. You can't take risks, can't start a business, can't say no to toxic management. You're trapped, and they know it. The gig economy? Same scam, different package. Uber, DoorDash, Amazon Flex, they convince you that you're an entrepreneur while paying you less than minimum wage and making you pay for gas, insurance, and car maintenance. You're not building a business. You're subsidizing theirs with your own money and pretending it's freedom. Even your landlord wants you broke. Why? Because broke tenants don't move. Moving costs money you don't have. So you stay, pay increases every year, and never build equity because buying a house requires money you can't save. Retail companies design their entire business model around broke people. Layaway, rent-to-own, buy now, pay later. They make poor people pay more for the same stuff rich people buy with cash. A $500 couch becomes $800 when you can't afford it up front. Poverty is expensive, and they designed it that way. Insurance companies, phone companies, subscription services, they all have the same business model: extract maximum value from people who can't afford to leave. This isn't capitalism. This is feudalism with extra steps. You're the serf, they're the lords, and your paycheck is the tribute you pay to keep the system running. But here's what really makes me angry. They convinced smart people that this is normal, that struggling is a character flaw instead of a systemic design. Speaking of smart people, let me tell you why even intelligent, educated, hardworking people get trapped in this cycle.
You might be thinking, I'm too smart for this. I see the traps, I can avoid them. That's exactly what they're counting on. See, smart people are actually easier to trap because they overthink everything. They research the best credit card, the optimal savings rate, the perfect investment strategy. Meanwhile, they're bleeding money through 1,000 tiny cuts they consider too small to matter. Smart people fall for the complexity trap. They think personal finance is complicated, so they spend years learning instead of doing. They read books, watch videos, compare options endlessly. While they're paralyzed by analysis, their money disappears into the exact same traps as everyone else. Here's the psychological manipulation they use. They make you complicit in your own exploitation. You chose that credit card. You signed up for those subscriptions. You agreed to that car loan. So when you're broke, it feels like your fault. You blame yourself instead of the system. It's genius, really. They designed a maze, put cheese at every dead end, and when you get lost, they tell you that you're just bad at mazes. The shame keeps you quiet. You don't talk about money struggles because you think it reflects poorly on you. So you suffer in silence while they profit from your isolation. They weaponized your aspirations against you. Want a better life? Here's a loan. Want to look successful? Here's a credit card. Want convenience? Here's a subscription. Every desire becomes a revenue stream for someone else. And the most insidious part? They convinced you that financial stress is normal adult behavior. Welcome to the real world, they say, as if suffering is a rite of passage instead of systematic exploitation. You know what's not normal? Working 40+ hours a week and still struggling to pay basic bills. That's not adulting, that's slavery with better marketing. But smart people rationalize it. Everyone has debt. Everyone struggles. This is just how it is. No, this is how they designed it to be. The system works because it makes you feel stupid for questioning it, like you're missing some obvious truth that everyone else figured out. But here's the real truth. Everyone else is just as confused and broke as you are. They're just better at pretending they're not. Let me show you exactly what this looks like in real life. Meet Sarah, college-educated, 6-figure salary, and completely broke. Her story will blow your mind.
Sarah lives in Austin, Texas. She's 32, has a marketing degree, and makes $75,000 a year. On paper, she should be crushing it. Here's Sarah's reality. Take-home pay after taxes and insurance, $4,200 a month. Rent for a decent one-bedroom, $1,800. That's 43% of her income. But finding anything cheaper means a 2-hour commute. Student loans, $380 a month. She's been paying for 8 years and still owes more than when she started because of interest. Car payment, $420. She needed reliable transportation for work, and they convinced her to lease because it's only $420 a month. Insurance, $340 total for health, car, and renters. Subscriptions, $89. Netflix, Spotify, gym, meal delivery app, cloud storage, all necessities. Phone, $85 because she needs unlimited data for work. We're already at $4,114. She has $86 left for food, gas, and everything else. But wait, there's more. Gas, $200 a month. Austin traffic means long commutes. Groceries, $400. She tries to cook but ends up ordering takeout when work gets crazy. We're now at $4,714. She's $514 over budget every month. So, Sarah uses credit cards for the overflow. Just this month, she tells herself, just until I get that raise. The raise never comes. Or when it does, her rent goes up, her car needs repairs, her student loan interest kicks in. Sarah makes $75,000 a year and has $800 in savings. She's one car repair away from financial disaster. But here's what everyone focuses on. Sarah should budget better. Sarah should move somewhere cheaper. Sarah should get a roommate. Nobody asks, why does a college-educated professional making $75,000 a year struggle to afford basic living expenses in America? Nobody questions why rent takes half her income, why student loans never get paid off, why a reliable car costs $420 a month. They blame Sarah for playing a rigged game instead of questioning why the game is rigged. Sarah isn't bad with money. Sarah is the victim of a system designed to extract maximum value from her labor while keeping her desperate enough to never leave. And here's the plot twist that Sarah, and maybe you, never saw coming.
Here's the plot twist that changes everything. There's no such thing as financial emergencies. I know, your car broke down, your roof started leaking, your phone died. Emergency, right? Wrong. Cars break down. It's not an emergency, it's maintenance. Your car will need repairs. The only question is, when and how much? Your roof will need fixing, your appliances will break, your phone will eventually die, your clothes will wear out, your pets will need vet visits. These aren't emergencies. They're predictable expenses that happen on an unpredictable timeline. But they want you to call them emergencies because emergency thinking keeps you broke. When you think something is an emergency, you panic. You make bad decisions, you pay premium prices, you use credit cards, you don't shop around. Emergency thinking is reactive. It puts you in victim mode. Oh no, this unexpected thing happened to me. But what if you planned for the inevitable instead?
What if instead of saving for emergencies, you saved for life maintenance? What if instead of being surprised by predictable expenses, you expected them? Here's what they don't want you to know. Wealthy people don't have emergencies. They have anticipated expenses. Rich people know their car will need repairs, so they budget for it. They know their roof will need maintenance, so they save for it. They know life is expensive, so they plan for it. Poor people have emergencies because they're taught to live reactively instead of proactively. The system benefits from your panic. Desperate people pay higher prices, accept worse terms, and make decisions based on fear instead of logic. Emergency car repair? You'll take whatever the mechanic quotes because you need your car. Emergency medical bill? You'll accept whatever payment plan they offer. But when you plan for the inevitable, you have power. You can shop around, negotiate, wait for sales, choose your timing. The emergency fund advice is designed to keep you broke. They want your money sitting in their accounts earning them interest while you live in fear of the next surprise. Here's a better approach. Assume life will be expensive and plan accordingly. Which brings me to the 3 rules that will break you out of this cycle forever. Rule number 1. Pay yourself first, but not how they taught you. Forget the emergency fund sitting in savings earning nothing. The moment you get paid, before rent, before bills, before anything, move money into investments that actually grow. Start with $50 a month if that's all you have. Put it in index funds, not savings accounts. Make your money work harder than you do. The system wants your money idle in their accounts. You want your money growing faster than their inflation can steal it. Rule number 2. Kill the subscriptions. All of them. Cancel everything and rebuild from zero. If you truly need it, you'll resubscribe. If you don't notice it's gone, you just found money you didn't know you were bleeding. Most people save $150 to $300 a month just from this exercise. That's $1,200 to $3,600 a year that was disappearing into corporate pockets. Use that money to buy assets, not liabilities. Rule number 3. Stop playing their debt game. If you have high-interest debt, attack it like your life depends on it, because it does. Every month you carry credit card debt, you're paying 20+% interest to banks that got their money for free from the Federal Reserve. You're literally funding their wealth with your poverty. Pay minimums on everything except the highest interest rate debt. Throw every extra dollar at that until it's dead. Then take what you were paying in debt service and redirect it to investments. The goal isn't to budget better. The goal is to exit their system entirely. Stop being a profit center for banks. Stop funding corporate wealth with your desperation. Stop playing a game rigged against you. Build your own wealth instead of subsidizing theirs.
So there you have it. The reason you're always broke isn't because you're bad with money. It's because you're playing a game designed to extract wealth from your labor while convincing you that your struggle is your fault. The system works perfectly, just not for you. But now you see the matrix. You understand how the machine operates. You know who benefits from your financial stress and why they want to keep you trapped. The question is, what are you going to do about it? You can keep playing their game, hoping things will magically get better, or you can stop funding their wealth and start building your own. The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because every day you wait is another day they profit from your poverty. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, which trap were you falling for? And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because the only way we break this system is by refusing to play along. Stop being their profit center. Start being your own bank.